It's a Xiaomi, not just any Xiaomi, it's my Xiaomi 13T, and this is the review of this phone after owning it for the past 4 months or so. I bought this phone back in late July for about $400 or $2 delay, and it runs pretty fine for the price. You get a lot of hardware performance for the relatively low price. I'm talking about 3.1 GHz CPU, 8 GB of RAM with 256 GB of storage, and perhaps the most important of them all, a 444Hz 1220p AMOLED display, which is simply gorgeous. And how could I forget about the massive 5000 mAh battery? I'm also going to cover the cameras, as every YouTuber does, being the main selling point of this phone. From my experience with the phone, I never encountered any issues, apart from a weird bug that keeps the phone locked on landscape. It came stock with Android 13, along Xiaomi's weird MIUI skin, which I particularly like. At the moment, it runs Android 14 with HyperOS 1.5 on top of it. I'm waiting for the Android 15 and HyperOS 2.0, which is going to be released somewhere in December. You are also going to get a whopping 4 years of software updates, all the way to Android 17, if Google doesn't come up with some stupid marketing branding. From my past experience with Xiaomi's custom UI, the latest ones are huge improvement in terms of performance and optimization, way more smoothly than the older versions. With the release of the new HyperOS versions, there are some new animations and transitions that Chinese guys at Xiaomi really struggle to implement properly, such as the notification light up and the fingerprint scanner animation. For starters, it's got a 5000 mAh battery. Now there is something about it. It somehow lasts a whole day long even on 5G network, which uses high amounts of power. Using it constantly throughout the day can get shut down with about 30 or 20% of battery left, which is okay for cellular use. Wi-Fi use, on the other hand, will get you about 60% of battery left at dawn in the same conditions. The average time I've conducted the experiment is about 5 or 6 hours with various apps, from web browsing to games. The cellular average period of battery duration really varies from country to country. As I've seen online, other reviewers got more hours of battery life in about the same conditions, mainly due to the crappy cell towers we have here in my country. So you might want to keep in mind when buying any phone. This panel here is higher res than the average in its class, featuring a 1220p resolution and 144Hz refresh rate, which is great for this category, this phone being considered an upper mid-ranger. The thing is though, even if you get a 144Hz panel, all the apps in the system run in 120, apart from the games and particular menus that are specifically made to run in full refresh rate. It also supports HDR10 Plus video codec and 1200 nits bright with manual mode and 2600 in peak auto mode. There won't be any problem for you to use it in direct sunlight. Under the plastic hood, we get a new, but not top-of-the-line MediaTek Dimensity 8200 Ultra that can get up to 3.1 GHz under full load. This new chassis brings a new, larger vapor chamber, allowing for better cooling and heat distribution through the entire phone's casing. I haven't seen this chip overheat at all since I got the phone, which is a good thing, obviously. The heat being spread all over the casing, not just in one spot, as we've seen with older phones. This non-Pro model is available with a single storage option, 256 gigs along with either 8 or 12 gigs of RAM. This is an interesting setup here. Dual 50 megapixel cameras, the wide getting optical image stabilization, and the telephoto having only electronic stabilization. Ultra wide sensor being only 12 megapixel, which is still an upgrade from the last year 12T, which was 8 megapixels. It would have been better if it didn't exist at all. I like this Leica collaboration very much. This bringing the phone some Leica lenses along with software that lets you choose the photo style, being either vibrant or authentic. Only 4K 30fps footage sadly, because this phone surely can and could film at least 4K 60fps and 8K 24fps, but hey, if Xiaomi didn't want to make the difference between the Pro and non-Pro that obvious, that feature would have been undoubtedly here. In the box, apart from the cheap silicone case, Xiaomi marketing department was kind enough to include a 67-watt charging brick in a time when almost no phone manufacturer includes a brick anymore, which is plain awesome. That's a massive thumbs up for Xiaomi, not urging customers to buy the charger separately. Anyways, 0 to 100 in 42 minutes, still faster than the average cars out there. The included cable is on one end USB-C and on the other end USB-A, which is very good for more connectivity. You can also charge your laptop with this charger and even play some games, even though I don't recommend it because it's not designed to maintain high amounts of power for a long time. Which might lead to melting and your house going boom. This has been the long-term review of the last year's Xiaomi 13T. I recommend you though to buy the Pro model if you can. The price is lowering with the release of the 15 series of Xiaomi and 14T lineup. But if you are on a tight budget, then this is for you. This one won't disappoint you even with the missing little gimmicks that the Pro model offers. That being said, if you enjoyed this video, don't mind and give a thumbs up below, and if you don't like it, you know what to do. Till the next one, bye bye.